Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Monday Matters. Now this week it's a question I got asked during the week, and it's a really important question in terms of closing your business in Ireland. And let me qualify this by saying it depends on the particular business that you're actually closing. And at the very bottom here, it's important to consult legal advisors, accountants and tax advisors just to make sure you're doing it properly. But there is 5 biting things that you really need, 5 areas you need to consider. One is, and now, officially pick a date that you're going to cease on. And I know it sounds very, very basic, but when you pick that date, you need to speak to all your employees, and you need to speak to your customers and suppliers and anybody else that's involved in your business. And it's crucial that you manage the expectations, because depending on what the cessation is for or the closing of the business is for, this might cause some issues for a lot of people. Settle outstanding debates and debts. So any debts that you have, you need to settle all your debts, whether it's loans, whether it's credit terms, whether it's overdrafts, whatever it is. Make sure that all those debts are settled. The next part is cancelling registration permits and insurance. So you need to make sure that you cancel all of those. However, be very, very careful on the insurance front, because in certain professions, you very possibly need to have a roll-off cover of your insurance. So that roll-off cover means that even though you're ceasing as an accountant, you possibly will still have to keep your insurance cover for a period of time after. Critically important, because this will follow you. Make sure the revenue is dealt with properly and you cease registration and all your tax returns are filed, because you do not want, under any circumstances, coming along afterwards and realising that you get this demand for revenue. You don't know what it was, because you'd a VAT return you didn't file even though you ceased, and all this stuff comes and the problems come. Then they issue demands and revenue and you end up having to deal with it. So there is a lot of planning in terms of business cessation that needs to happen. It's not a really onerous thing in general terms, and this is looking at it in a really general format now. So you need to go into a lot more detail, but it's just in terms, if you are closing, is to give you a thought process to say, yeah, I'm going to close my business, and here is a very basic methodology I need to look at. Obviously, closing bank accounts, and if you have any contractual obligations, make sure that you're out of those contractual obligations, that you can cancel those contracts. And these can be things like software contracts and that. And again, if you're cancelling software contracts like the likes of Microsoft Office, you need to also be very careful, because you might need access to all this information and the emails, and take professional advice on keeping access to records post cessation. The tax guys will tell you all about what you need to do in that instant. So I hope this helps, and it's just a little small kind of a video on how to go about closing your business. So thank you. Talk to you next week.